Okay, great souls. Welcome, welcome. Namaste to you all. As I'm going over some review, it's wonderful to just go ahead and, well, first, when there's tension, nervousness, anxiety, past history of trauma, of natural disasters, here in California, we are, already on fire alert. It's a very dry season. So any kind of smoke or is going to activate the nervous system. So what we want, of course, we're going to feel that. And there's a contraction, right? That's just our body trying to keep us safe. We know that. What we want to do is we want to maybe intensify that double breath. You could do it now, but we really want to focus on the exhalation, either double breath, short, long, or then long with sound, that ah sound, or like you're fogging, steaming your glasses or the mirror. So let's do a short then long inhale. Tense the body, get scrunch up the face, tense the muscles, vibrate with energy. And then the focus on the exhalation, the sound, riding that exhale long as possible. And then you're going to bring your hands to your heart and breathe into the heart. You want to make that a long sounding exhale. As I review some of the key strategies to come back to open our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest. With trauma, we want to move out of fight, flight, or freeze, out of that cortisol reaction. If it hits you, it's going to take at least 20 minutes to come out of it, but we can help ourselves come out of it. We can help ourselves come out of it to rest and digest by what we just did, lengthening the exhale. Another great technique is to bring the vagus. What we want to do is massage from the ear. Let's go to the right side, through the neck into the shoulder. So we're going to take some brush strokes here and open. You can bring your left ear towards your left shoulder gently. And you're massaging downward. And this is going to help relax the heart rate, digestion, relaxation, exhale, breathing, and then lengthen up. So vagus nerve release, other side, left ear down, that sternocleidomastoid muscle down the side of the neck. So self-massage is a principle for relaxation and calming. 3 or 4 times, letting go, sighing. As you do that, yawning, lengthen up. You can exaggerate a yawn. Breathe in, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyes. I'll be coming to the mat soon. Acupressure, gentle tapping, right below the collarbones. First press into that. These are grief and loss points. You can gently press into there. Bilateral is a big piece of trauma regulation as well, and regulating left and right sides of the brain. I like to cross at this and tap, and we might say to ourselves, even though I'm activated by fear, anxiety, I do know how to calm and regulate myself. I can calm and regulate myself. So it's really important that we're soothing the mind, the body, the soul, okay? We're regulating ourselves. Again, I'm giving you information, but maybe too much, but just as a review. And then we have our affirmations as we're going to do our yoga poses. Yoga works bilaterally because we work right and left sides. Right side solar, left side's lunar. And then we're going to have more of a focus to remember to, after each pose, to take maybe 30 to 60 seconds to let that just really drop in, really cleanse in. and creating our safe space. So we're going, this is a great segue. I'm going to back up. Visualization, safe space. This safe space could be a beautiful place of Kauai, a place that you may have been to, a place in your home, anywhere, although we've probably been spending a lot more time there. Anything that's going to help you create that inner sense of safety by a visualization, by breath work, by all the strategies I mentioned. Okay, so let me put this to the side. And you're already in your comfortable seat. I'm coming back. Maybe if your other foot was crossed, you want to bring the other foot in front. And let's go ahead and stretch up through the right side, the solar active side. Come over with the left fingertips and stretch. Let that left shoulder come down. Stretch through the right side. And then exhale, soften a little bit. See and feel those shoulders soften there. Feel those shoulders softening. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. 3 to 5 breaths. This is a benefit. Expanding and opening, stretching. And now when we come up, inhale, coming up with that right arm. Bend the right elbow, so the elbow tip is up. Left hand behind, I'm clasping gently or just touching. And we're just opening more the right side. Stretching. So we can come back every exhale, make it audible. Especially if you get into a fight, flight, freeze response, note it, and you tell yourself, I have tools to regulate. I can calm my nervous system. And releasing the arm. And we're going to stretch, of course, the left arm up, walking the fingertips over to the right, stretching through the lunar side. Oh, our witness observer self, so important. Let their shoulders soften on the exhale. And then elongating, stretching and easing. So each of those points I mentioned could be a whole workshop, right? I mentioned a lot of sighing, rocking. I don't know if I mentioned rocking. We're kind of rocking gently. Rocking is very soothing, as we know from our younger self. Inhale, we'll rock a little bit more, and certain poses are easier than others to get that rocking in. Bending the elbow, bring the opposite hand over and really just lengthening and stretching. Fog in the mirror on the exhale, that AH sound. Inhale, belly, heart, crown. Exhale. Okay. Reaching up, feeling the space all around you. And then taking a moment here, Eagle Heart Mudra, closing the eyes. Feel like when we're tensed up, feel almost like our hand, like that fist. Imagine that could be a visualization, the fingers softening, unfurling, the shoulders softening, the eyes and the jaw relaxing. As we breathe in and breathe out, and feel those lotus petals. We worked on that last week of our heart chakra opening. So that could be a visualization for you. Lotus petals opening. Notice what comes to you that helps you visualize and come back to safety. And the hand on the heart, the warmth there. Setting your intention for what you'd like to receive from our class today. I'm going to, as requested, remind us of our affirmations for grounding, stabilizing, and returning to the calmness within, soothing the soul. Now feel your sit bones rooting down. You can And tuck that tailbone down slightly, then move around. So you can circle and stay rooted. So of course we want that flexibility as well as the grounding. So both can happen simultaneously. You can focus on one or the other, but this is both are happening. Okay, thank you, body. I'm gonna draw the knees again. Any kind of floor work, any kind of forward bends are very calming. But of course, we want a balance of strength and flexibility. That's why we want our back bends. Okay, so getting your blanket for your knees, extra padding here if you want. We're going to take big cat-cow circles. What does that mean? First, we do our classic cat. Inhale, scooping out. But now as we round gently, we ease those shoulders to the right. You could almost come back to the heels, see what works on your body. And circle around several times, making that strong AH sound, the Ujjayi sound. Let's go 4 times in one direction if this feels right to you. If not, always listen to your body. Do classic cat-cow, forward back. Otherwise, go to the left. Circling. And just inviting the lubrication of the joint spaces. Eyes could be open or closed. And back eventually. And working with more of flexibility and strength now. So what we'll do is we'll draw that left knee into the center line. Draw the right knee toward the forehead. Extend the right leg straight out. Just have enough room. Lengthen up. And then see if we can add a push-up. Exhale, a half push-up. With that AH sound. Inhale, come up. Fold in. We'll do 4 of these. If possible, extend the leg out. And then push up. Fold in. Really kicking the stress, the tension, the things we can't control out. And then coming back to life force chronic healing. Whatever your concept of it, the divine is, bring that in for soothing the soul. I can't remember if we've done 3 or 4 here. We're going to turn those right toes under, go back and forth. Before we go to the other side, it would be wonderful to do a full body stretch here, right? In downward facing dog. So go ahead and transition by lifting the tailbone up, treading out the heels, pressing into the base of the fingers, and affirming. What quality would you like? Classically, calmness is the affirmation in this pose. Or I've been using the healing power of spirit. Either, whatever quality you'd like to invoke, calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Of course, we can add those figure 8s, or we can remain more stable. So even though I may be activated by whatever the circumstances, you fill in the blank there, I can return to calmness. I can activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Head below the heart, forward and full body stretch, but we're getting that wonderful calming effect in so many of the yoga poses. And then we add the affirmation, we add that to the equation of healing. And we're going to go to the other side. So We're going to draw that right knee in, fold the left knee in, extend the left leg straight out. Maybe you can see it better this way. Finding my way through this space. Add the push-up. Elbows in. Go at your pace, folding in, or any variation that works for you. Take your time. Feeling the strength and the flexibility. Coming into the present moment is another principle for regulating and trauma release. Right here, right now, am I okay? Am I safe? And if we're not, we do something about it, of course. Okay, extending up and then elbows in. All right, that was 4. I counted toes turned under there. Stretching, getting into the body and the breath. Excellent. From here, another dive into extension into down dog, lifting the tailbone. We know the principles. Elongate, feel the space between each vertebra. You stay with the calmness if that's the quality you're invoking, or we could do the healing power of spirit radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Okay, stepping one foot forward, then the other. Stepping one hand, then the other. Walking, walking, walking. So you're bending the knees, rooting, and we can just let the upper body, again, the rocking or shaking, very beneficial. Shaking the tension out. Massaging. So we did the neck, we massage the scalp, the back of the neck, sides, top of the head, relaxing and casting aside any unnecessary mental burdens. Let the earth take it, or that concept of the divine that may be a healing force for you as you bend the knees, heart lifts, and sweeping the arms back, sweeping the arms forward, reaching up, and feel the space all around you. Circle around, move my blanket out, stand up by your side, blocks, props, etc. Oh, I'm going to be sipping water more regularly throughout. Another cleansing. Anything we could do to cleanse. Okay. Oh, yes. All right. So grounding, we talked about it last week. Pressing, and we need to continue. Press into the large toes, inner arches of the feet, that inner heel, and then that horseshoe wrap around the outer heel, little outer edge of the feet, little toe side of the foot. Feel connected to the earth. Stable. We want to go bottom up when we're feeling anxious because it's such a heady thing, right? Fearful. And root down. Once we're connected, roots way down below the surface. Then energy rises up. Take a moment to the heart center, equal heart mudra again. Those lotus petals opening, unfurling, back to the sanctuary of the heart. And then upward climb our living tree. Our living tree is in the spine, the chakra systems, up to the spiritual eye, the crown, very expansive. So we're tapping into the spiritual eye, we're tapping into the crown. May all beings, so where we come out of our individual self and wish all beings grace to navigate the difficulties, whatever your inner prayer is, may all beings be healed. May they expand and open into a higher consciousness. And then arms go out to the side, unfurling, interlocking, strong, feet go a little bit wider. And we come forward again. If you can use a strap here with the hands into our squat. Routine grounding. And then releasing the hands down out in front. Few pulses. Invoking stability, safety. Am I okay right now? Security, strength. Coming forward. Variation of straight down the star. Step that right foot back. Always do, I hope to do a lunge at your class, open to the hips. So heart lifts, right leg back, head lifts. You know this. If you want, you can shimmy shake on the knee or stay off the knee. It's up to you. We'll go deeper into a pigeon later, but we're still warming up, of course. All right, from here, what we want to do is we want to turn those back toes under, step it back to classic plank, add a half push-up, come back, either knee, chest, chin chaturanga or classic chaturanga as we come down. Oh, maybe I'll scoot back. Onto the forearms. Onto the forearms. So our Sphinx pose. Side to side, looking over one shoulder, then the other, hips shaking gently side to side. Continue the hydration. Okay, remember we worked on the fingertips last time? Let's try that again. May feel weird. Inhale into the base of the hands as well. Fingers, I should say, nothing yet. Rising up. And then exhale. Taking rest. Let's take a long, deep, full yogic breath here. Resting on our spiritual eye. Belly, heart, crown, back body expands to the sky. Front body melts into the earth. Breathing in, breathing out, lengthening the exhale. So when you go to the bottom of the exhale, exhale a little bit more. Letting go of the unnecessary holding, tension. And then we're rising up to greet this day. It's a back bend. We want that strength of back bend. Even though forebends are very calming, we want the strength of back bend. Hands underneath the shoulders, legs strong. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, half cobra or full Bhujangasana. Rising up to greet this day. Lion's breath. Sticking out the tongue. High gaze up. Okay. Now we're going to unfurl back down. Surprise, surprise. We're going to come down, bending the elbows. And try to rest and digest and take that in. I realize we didn't go to the other side yet. I'm slowing it down. We can slow down to regulate the nervous system in between. Full yogic breath. Soften the shoulders. Hear the sound of the breath. Let that nourish you, the sound of the breath. Now we're going to go into our half bow on the right side before we do left lunge, left half bow. Left forearm in front, bend that right knee, rotate the ankle. See if you want your strap, clasping the back foot or with the strap. We're going to kick that leg back. The left leg's strong. It's not passive. The left side's strong. Let's to stabilize. Maybe we lift that thigh off the ground. What this is doing, any back is bow pose, especially recharging our spine. Opening to recharge the spine. So strengthening the spine, strengthening our nervous system, and letting go with the relax, release, and digest. Over and over again, both need to happen. Okay, coming back to our cobra, rising up. Inhale on the knees or off the knees, lion's breath. 2 or 3 times. And cat is always available as an opposite stretch or prayer pose. If you want more dynamic, we'll go into down dog. So either resting in prayer or cat cow variation or down dog. See what quality you want to invoke. Calmness, radiance through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. And walking one foot and the other, one hand and the other, maybe resting the palms at the hollows of the elbows. Relaxing the head and neck. And relax and cast aside any unnecessary mental burden you can decide. Go around, move down through those points of the feet. Heart lifts. Reach back for a moment and then sweep up. Lengthening up. And feeling the space all around you. Also rooting. Feel those points. Feel the energy rising. Take a moment. Eagle heart mudra. Let's come back to the heart. That open lotus. And give the prayer of care. You'd like to perhaps send others. Remember that Tonglen practice, the Buddhist practice of whatever you're going through. I'm sure there's many other people going through their variation of it. Okay. So it's anxiety, fear of their the fire, the natural disasters in any area. We want to send prayers of care to others that are going through their experiences. That you're not alone. We're not alone. We're in this collectively. This is one thing COVID has taught us. We're in this collectively. Stretching back, opening the heart, and swan diving forward. Forward fold. So coming into your forward fold, taking your time, breathing in, breathing out. Affirmations here. And then we're going to step our left foot back into lunge. So step the right feet forward, stepping our left, rising up through the belly heart. And then we can, I like to come on top of that knee and go side to side and really open the hips. And let those, let yourself, you can't even bring your hand inside that knee if that works better for you. Walk your foot out to the side more. You'll know what feels right in your deep lunge, in your deep hip opener. And then from our hip opener, we're going to take it back to our plank, strength pose. Maybe this time coming all the way down in a chaturanga or knee chest chin. And again, cultivating some rest in between, stacking and resting at the spiritual eye. This is the goal of yoga union, inner communion. As you breathe in and breathe out. See where you can soften. And we're going to come back to our Sphinx pose to create that back bend, to recall our scattered forces, to recharge our spine so that our right elbow bends in right form in line with the front of the mat. Left knee bends for our half bow, rotating the ankle. Okay, using a strap, maybe you can grab the foot, but I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. You're lifting the thigh off the ground. 2 to 3 breaths here. I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. So we're coming into the central channel, and you feel that dynamic energy. A lot of muscle groups are active, but we're really feeling that surging. Let's take a moment here to rest. One full yogic breath. Soften. Notice how bow and cobra and all back bends recharge the spine. We're calling those scattered forces in all directions, and we will rise up and soar up joyfully to meet this day, this moment. It's off the ground or on the ground, lion's breath, open through the throat chakra. And now we'll all take some deep rest in prayer. Let the navel back toward the spine, bring the knees wider than the hips. And we sit back as much as we can. Stretching the arms out. Maybe the head touches, maybe it doesn't. Probably will touch if it does up more to the hairline. You may have a mantra you may use as part of your spiritual practice. Hong Sa is one of Yogananda's go-to on the inhale. It's translated to I am spirit. Hong and then Sa. We really want to return to our essential internal self, already whole, already free, already aware. Okay, rounded cat coming up. Rounded cat. Scooping out. Cat cow. Now we continue building the heat, okay? There's different parts of the practice. Turning the toes under, hovering for a moment to engage the core more. And pulling back to our front, the downward facing dog. And this time we're building. So we're lifting, draw the inner borders of the feet together, possibly lifting that right leg up, rooting that left heel down, if you can do 3-legged dog. And then drawing the right knee toward the chest. Take your time here as we step that right foot forward. You can step it, step it, step it. You can use a blanket underneath the knee. This is where we do our half camel. I'm going to bring the block over. So I've got quite a bit of padding here, so that's why I'm not using my blanket this time. All right, so half camel. Right knee forward, tailbone down. The block is by diagonal to my left knee. We're going to reach up with the right arm. And we're going to ease those hips forward. Now, you can use this block to stabilize with your left hand. Put the other block over. Or you could bring your left hand behind your thigh. With calm face, I open to the light. With calm face, I open to the light. So we want to bring our individual self to something higher. The light, submerged in that light. I am living in that light. Divine light is within me and all around me. With calm faith, I'm open to the light. Okay, coming back. Ooh, I'm feeling some heat there. Going back to half split. Well, actually, let's take a little bit deeper rest here. We're going to pour back to half split as a transition. Lower that right hip down. Forward fold. And then if possible, I know this is tricky on my left knee, stepping your left knee forward, left foot forward. Taking it in, drawing that right knee in and doing, as promised, more of a rocking. So we bring this right knee out. This left knee could stay bent or it could stay straight. It might be easier to straighten it, to tell you the truth. And here we go, rocking, rocking, rocking. That right knee. Rocking is so therapeutic. Get out of sympathetic, that fight, flight, freeze, to parasympathetic. Remember the parachute. That's how I remember it. The calm and rest and digest. So rocking, and this is also great for our hip. Circling. Another way to open the hip. And then classic forward bend. We can either take the strap around the ball of the foot or extend through that right sit bone to right heel as we lower this right heel down, this right leg down. Let me shake it. Move side to side. Before we go to the left, the whole deal to the left side. Let's do just a classic forward fold, Dandasana. Hands by your side. Inhale, reaching up. Lengthening and growing. Heart is leading toward the toes or the strap around the toes. Take your time. First, elongate the spine. And then fold. Relaxing into that inner retreat, that inner sanctuary, or that safe space within you. It could be within you, it could be the heart center, it could be a place in nature, it could be Hawaii. Just get used to returning to safety within or visualizing a safe place or a pet. Inhale, belly, heart, and head lifts. Sweeping the arms up. Feel the space all around. Okay, half camel to the other side, transitioning. Bending the knees, rolling onto the ball of the feet if possible. And it's pretty tricky, step in one hand and the other. Maybe the head goes back, maybe it doesn't. Coming forward, stretching those reflex points of the feet. And to our forward fold again.
Another block by your side. We'll be using it. Relaxing. Unnecessary mental burdens as we rock side to side. Then one knee and the other. Be soft and slow, rocking. Be a little bit medium. Vigorous. With awareness. Okay. No spine osteoporosis issues, you can roll up, otherwise straight spine coming up. Here comes into our mountain, rooting, grounding, stabilizing. First chakra down to the legs, safety, security, stability. Look at a tree or a plant or a flower. Earth. With the hands at the heart center again. Rooting and grounding and offering perhaps those prayers if they're to others. It could be one or two, or the collective experience of many people going through. We don't know these people, or you may know some people through their variation of anxieties or fears that may be coming up for them. We're in this together, human collective. Tapping into the spiritual eye, around. It's activating in our poses, but we're focusing there. And then expanding back as we root it down. And then feel the space lengthen up through the crown, feel the space all around you. Forward fold. Step it back. Three-legged dog. No, first regular dog, tread it out. Then walk your feet in, the left leg lifts up, if possible. If possible. And then bend that left knee, take your time to bring you to chest and step it forward. We're ready for our half camel Ustrasana. Okay, so the block will be by the side of the knee. The tailbones down, heart lifting. Squaring the hips as much as you can. The left arm reaches up. Right hand reaches to the block as the hips come forward or behind the thigh. I didn't do the variation to calf to heel, but if you want, if you can, that's the full extension of camel, half camel. With calm faith, I open to the light. Adding mudra. With calm faith, I open to the light. Your concept of what brings you calmness in terms of a faith practice. Bring that in, soothing the soul. Coming up. Woo, and drawing that left hip back, peeling the left toes up into our half Hanumanasana split. I like to bring that opposite hand over. Big exhales. So opposite, extension and fold forward. Calming after activating. And resting in between. And maybe resting and digesting in our forward fold right now. Bending the knee. Now this is that. It's a little tricky transition. I definitely feel that. Kind of any way you can. I'm going to bring your right knee in. Left knee is bent. I'm going to extend that right leg. Okay. And we're first just getting rooted down through our sit bones now that we're on the ground again. And rocking the hip open, maybe cradling any way you can. There's a tendency to really round. Try to lift to the heart as much as you can. Counteract that. Rocking side to side. Again, rocking is a principle for trauma release. So we're talking, of course, all the self-care practices. I do have to shout out in my profession, counseling, therapy, there's a lot of, really good practices for trauma relief, EFT, EMDR, the bilateral, which we'll do on our own, but it's really, really good to process your trauma with somebody else. A lot of times we shut it down, we made it through, we don't want to go back to it, but then it pops up, it pops up, it pops up. There are ways to help process that with somebody skilled that can help you and not be alone in it, and reduce that activation to the sympathetic nervous system by processing it. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. So we're going to take the strap around the ball of the foot. If it keeps coming up for you, if it's really causing a dysfunction in your life, and it does, extending the leg, of course, you naturally have to adjust, or maybe it's very unnatural to adjust, but it takes time. But if you find yourself unable to sleep at night and having a lot of PTSD around it, get professional help. Okay, don't be alone in it. Stretch through your heel and let that leg get longer. Yay. Moving the hips side to side. Okay, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And the hands come down. Well, we do the straight leg. Well, I mean, this is still going to be a straight leg. We're going to extend it opening this time. So we do both legs forward. Now we're going to go wider, and come forward. So reaching forward, taking your time with the elongated spine, walking, feel those toes back. And reaching forward. One arm, then the other. Breathe into the back of the heart. It could be on your bolster or your blanket. You don't have to touch the ground. That's not wherever you can go. That's your edge. You may want to bring the hands to the back of the neck. Maybe your heart is your sanctuary. Let those, our visualization like we did earlier, let those fists unfurl. Soften. You're going to a place in Hawaii in nature, really feel the beach, the sand underneath you, the texture, the breeze on your skin, the warmth of the sun touching the cells of the body. The water, the sound of water, any type of sensations we can bring to our visualization help tremendously. And then slowly coming up. Okay. Bending the knees. Rolling out, take your time, reversing it. Got one more standing pose balance to do. Not quite. Time forward, fold it. Shake it, rock it, or stabilize, whatever you feel to do. Rooting, heart lifting, and rising. Okay, set your time out. Have some lemon water here.
Finding the time. Okay. Okay. On to do our standing pose, lucky us, huh? Balance pose rather. So we're taking that pose of our half camel into one leg. Dancer. I don't think we've done this in a bit. So what we're going to do, just looking at this with my list of poses I wanted to make sure we got to. Oh yes, this is good. Okay, so we're going to take it into our dancer. Rooting down through our left foot. You could use a prop, a chair, a table. We'll turn this way. Look at a point in front of you. Bend your right knee. Stabilize as much as you can through that left foot. Sweep the leg back. Again, this could be your pose right here. Try to go knee to knee. And then allow this left arm to reach up with the mudra. Possibly kick that right leg back and heart comes forward. As I move through life, I'm anchored in my higher self. As I move through life, I'm anchored in my higher self. And you're not staying long, coming back up. And as we know, I'm purposely falling out, we can forget about our higher self, but we can return to it. Again, we have practices. We probably will forget, but then we can return. It's so huge to know that. You know that. Move down. Ground through that right foot, and then the left knee. Sweep it back. Right arm extends. This, it can definitely be your dancer pose, not Rajasana. And then kick it back with that leg. Looking at right in front of you. As I move through life, I'm anchored in my divine self. If I forget, I can return. As I move through life, I'm anchored in my divine self. Going up. And I came out of that quicker. If you can't, bring that knee up and then pull it down again. Okay, any variation of that balance pose would work, lifting one leg, etc. Excellent. Okay, we've completed our standing poses. We did forward bend, back bend. I'm reflecting as I just said we're done with, but I just realized we didn't do a side stretch. So I'd like to incorporate everything. So let's do a triangle. And then while we're up here, why not? Before we rest, turn the left toes to the side, the right foot in. Space in the scapula, elbows, wrist, expanding the heart. Use a block if you'd like. Reaching over toward the left toes. Opening the joy kosha. So important. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Joy is within me. Joy is around me as we extend Utthita. And then exhale that tension out as we open the joy. Oh, I'm so glad we did this side stretch. Reflect and see what your body needs. Soften that left knee. Coming up, track that knee over the second toe. Opening up. And coming to center. Bending both knees to rotate. Then whoops, pick up, take my block again. Bring in by the little toe side of the foot or the instep. Expanding. Elbows, shoulders, wrists, and then feeling the strength
As we reach over, there I can see everybody. Okay, the most. Okay, add the mudra. Thumb, index, finger together, head to tail, connected. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. You can stay here, or you can circle. Do it 3 times. As is, if the arm's coming around, bending, well, we all need to bend the right knee to come out. And then rising up. Stretching the opposite way. Coming forward. Wide open heart. Stepping your hands and feet, rooting down yet again and again. Let yourself feel that energy from the earth. And really rest in the heart and the upper chakras. Higher step, if you're feeling more, you're wanting more stabilization. You can either focus on both simultaneously, or you can focus on one of the other areas. Okay, now we come down. Oh, I should cue. Let's come down. Let's come down via pigeon, meaning you come down in a forward fold to down dog. I really want to do pigeon today. And lifting the right leg enough to reach that right knee between the hands. Utthapana Rajakapatanasana. Come off of that left knee, on top of that left knee. Shake. So we did our series of back bends and strengtheners. And now we're in a back bend here and a hip opener simultaneously. Again, we come into our forward fold with the upper body. We rest our upper body. Feel the exhalation, helping you dive down, stacking one hand on top of the other, resting at the spiritual eye. Releasing the past, releasing the future, resting in the eternal now. I release the past, I release the future, I rest in the eternal now. We're doing our best to come back to this moment. Through the breath and sensations in the body. You know, where we could soften, most likely the shoulders. And then we rise up. Take your time rising up, hands, wrists underneath the shoulders, rising up. Turn the back, left toe under, step it back to down dog. A lot of down dogs today, very good. Full body stretches. Left leg lifts up, if possible. No, do what we can. Left knee bends and knee comes between the hands. Over here. Elongate the back leg. Shake up. Square in the hips, in the back bend, and then folding deeper, resting and digesting. Releasing the past, releasing the future as best as possible, and resting in the eternal now. Again, it's natural for the brain to go past and future, does it a lot. Come back to this moment, present centered awareness, the eternal now. Already whole, already free.
already aware in the eternal now, this moment. With the sound of the breath. And then rising up, inhaling, rising up. Ooh. Little different. We're going to step, well, as best as we can, step back into our one of the final poses. Not quite. We're going to release our back, but we're going to fold into our hair, our rabbit pose, child's pose. But we're going to turn it into rabbit. So classic child's. You can stay in child's, or you can hold on to your heels. Tuck the chin to the hollow at the throat. Come onto the crown of the head, lift away from the sit bones, the heels away from the sit bone. Then rolling onto the crown of the head. I am master of my energy. We can regulate our energy. I'm master of my energy. I'm master of myself. That's the thing today, regulating our energy. We can calm ourselves as we soften. And roll it up. And then ease it down. Okay, so shifting. On this, we're going to take our time to tuck that tailbone under. Human shake down, low back releases, mid back releases, upper back, pressing through the feet, hugging the knees in. Ah, thank you, body. All that you can do for showing up today, for knowing I can restore and calm the nervous system. Do that easy twist, arms out to the side, hip width apart, wide on the outer, actually outer, more than hip width apart, outer corners of the mat. Knees go to the right, head a little bit to the left, but maybe to the center, because what we're eventually going to do is sweep this left arm up and around. Divine light is within me and all around me. Divine light is within me and all around me. Engage the core. Take your time to reset. I've got some pauses in there today. Over to the other side between the poses. This to the left. Head in line with the spine to start. And that right arm comes up. You feel that stretch through the right side more so. And sweeping back and forth. Divine light is within me and all around me. This one spoke to you the most today in the class. Affirmations, audible exhale, rocking. And as we prepare for Shavasana, I definitely want to do the bilateral in class, but it's definitely a trauma release, tension release, to rock that right leg out to the side and turn your head to the left and back to center. 6 to 8 to 10 times. Bilateral really does healing for trauma and our left, right hemispheres of the brain throughout the body, and the vagus nerve runs throughout the body, falling back to the brain. Rest and digest. Bilateral. Left leg out to the side, and turns to the right and center. Right. And center. No, that's working. It's been research effective. Tested so many ways. Again, EFT, EMDR, certain practices really work with the bilateral integration. And then getting yourself set for Shavasana. What would feel good? Legs up the wall, a restorative pose with the bolster underneath the knees, on your spine. I didn't say enough about restorative poses. Restorative poses are fantastic. 3 to 5 minutes, which we dive into Shavasana, or regulating the nervous system. So that can be so many ways. In our Supta Baddha Konasana, bolster, you can also use a blanket under your head if the head's looking back. Our classic extended leg. The legs up the wall. So beneficial to rest and digest. As I guide us through a relaxation Shavasana, dying to our personal self, and then opening to something much greater that's animating our personal self. Again, whatever that is for you, as I report this. So good to, before you go to sleep at night, or whenever you want to rest for 5 to 7 minutes. Starting from the crown, the top of the head, easing down. Depending on your body positioning, see if it works to ease the head from side to side gently. You can have sound in the background, maybe the own sound we're playing. Let that image, if it spoke to you, of the fist unfurling, the fingers easing, the forehead line softening. The eyelids relaxing deeply left and right. Maybe even feeling the hollows, back of the eyes, left and right. And gentle inward focus of the spiritual eye where the two become one. Non-dual. Notice the cool air on your next inhale through both nostrils, coming up perhaps to the spiritual eye. And the warm cooked air through both nostrils as you exhale. Remember that yawning we did earlier? If that speaks to you, go ahead and do a wide yawn. Relaxing your jaw left and right. Noticing the sensation of taste inside the mouth. Tongue, the teeth, the gums. And the oceanic sound at the back of the throat, the hollow, the back of the throat. Perhaps if we use mantra Hong on the inhale, H-O-N-G. And Sa, S-A-U. And your spirit, returning to the truth of your heart. Feel those lotus petals really dive deep inside the heart. Notice the texture. Those lotus petals in your heart, what is speaking to you? What is your heart's desire? Deepest desire. Letting the shoulders soften, radiant sensation, streamlining down both arms. Notice temperature in the palms of the hands. Digits of the fingers and thumb. Deep belly breathing. Notice how your breath is right now. Easing into the hips, the cheeks, the thighs, left and right. Feel the earth supporting you, the knees, the calves, the ankles, all the way through to the soles of the feet, digits of the toes and heels. Relaxed and aware. Moving perhaps into witnessing awareness. Your ability to witness and observe what's present compassionately. Perhaps you can experience and make sense of peace, well-being, no matter the circumstances. And perhaps you can even experience that felt sense of inner joy or well-being. But then notice if you feel it in your body. So, yeah. Breathing in, breathing out. Already whole, already free. And you could decide if you'd like to stay in interiorization, conscious rest, or if you're ready to gently return to movement. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Noticing that unchanging awareness, presence. What do you call that? Amidst all the changes. What's here? Amidst all the changes. Resting on our side, giving our comfort of the child's pose. Taking your time if you are transitioning to seated position, or if you're still in Shavasana, you could still send healing prayers of care to others in that position as well. It's the intention that's important. So the 3-syllable Om sound, we talked about sound today quite a bit, more of a releasing. Now we're sending healing energy through sound. And it's the 3-syllable Om sound, the Ah, the Oo, the Mm. So visualizing those people you would like to send healing to through sound, rubbing the hands together or any way you would like. And getting some heat. Inhaling. And bringing the hands together. Namaste, the light within me recognizes that light within you, recognizes that light within everyone and everything. That's where we are one. Bowing to the wisdom of your heart. And it leads the way.